The greatest sales speech I ever gave was given at a company meeting where 72 of our people got together during our biggest sales slump, I guess you could call it. It was right before the summertime, which was historically our lowest sales time every single year. And if you've ever been in this kind of a situation that I'm about to talk about, comment yes below, because I'm interested to see if I'm the only one or if you're there also, where you actually see your team getting ready for a dry spell. Hell, I actually heard them talking about how the industry always dips for 2 months during the summer because, most prospects go on vacation. So it was frustrating to literally hear my team making excuses in advance for not making sales. Freaking drove me nuts. And although I had no idea what I was going to talk about, I knew that I had to get everybody together and kind of refocus them. Otherwise, no matter what, they were going to mentally condition themselves to have a poor sales few months, right, in the near future. And I was being driven crazy by this. So we got everybody together into a sales room and nobody was sitting down. Literally everybody was standing because it was so crowded in there, right? One room that probably shouldn't have even been able to hold 30 people. Everybody was in there. And I just started speaking. Eventually, I guess, after maybe 15 minutes or so of trying to motivate them, I kind of changed my focus, right? And I spoke about how far more people succeed, not because they think they can, but because they don't know they can't. And it took a second for that to kind of sink in, but I saw them start thinking about this. See, the fact is, more people succeed at anything. I don't care if it's sales or business growth or getting a date with an amazing woman or guy, because they don't know, right? More people succeed because they don't know that they can't do what they want to do. And when you're ignorant of failure, meaning that you just don't know you're going to fail, most of the time you succeed. It's the ordinary guy, right? The ordinary kind of slumpy dude who walks over to an amazingly hot woman, not knowing that she's totally out of his league, but because he just walked over and started talking to her, they end up dating, while his friends kind of sat back thinking that he was going to get shot down just by walking over there. Or think about the biggest sale your company could ever make, and think about all the great salespeople on your team who have tried to close that sale but haven't been able to close it. And then a new guy comes in, a new salesperson who just started, who's never sold anything, and he's got no idea that everybody else has failed to close that deal. And then he walks straight in, right out of training, and he closes it. And the other salespeople sit back and they say, what? What do they say? Beginner's luck, right? It's always beginner's luck. That happens all the time in business. That's why so many successful sales companies are constantly hiring new salespeople. It's not because new salespeople are better. It's because they don't know they can't succeed yet. So they push the envelope and they bring in bigger and bigger sales. And those sales remotivate the rest of the sales team. It's kind of like that movie, Good Will Hunting, where that janitor, played by Matt Damon, I think it was, solved a complex math problem, right, without any formal education, because he didn't know it was unsolvable. Now, when I first started in business, I listened to personal development tapes over and over and over again, like literally every day. And one of those programs told the story about a kid who used to ride his bike on the top of a fence that went around his yard. And he'd do that almost every single day, riding his bike on top of the fence. And his friends thought it was so cool that he could do this, until one day his mother came out and he saw what he was doing. And she immediately yelled at him, right? And when the kid asked his mother, hey, Mom, why don't you want me to ride my bike over here? It's really cool. The kids think it's so cool. She goes, because you can't, because it's impossible to stay balanced up there, because no matter what, no one else is doing it, right? Because you'll fall, you'll break your neck, right? She had all these different excuses, and he never did it again because he never again believed he could. The people on my team still talk about that speech today, even though I gave it more than a decade ago. That speech literally created more sales, more motivation, more confidence in each of my team members because it got them thinking outside the box. It got them thinking about, geez, what they've been missing because of the limits that they have been putting on themselves, and how many other salespeople have been passing them by all these years just because those other salespeople, they didn't know, or they just didn't choose to accept the fact that they couldn't do it. So up to that point, every month or every year around that time, around summertime, our sales hit a slump, right? And it lasted about 2 months. But that year, and every year after that, everyone started thinking outside the box, and we that first year, we 10x'd our best summer month. We brought in 10 times more revenue than our company ever brought in during the summer. And because of that, that was our best year ever, right? And again, it just continued year after year after year. So my question to you is this: What's important for you to accomplish that if you accomplished it, you would be able to 10x your revenue? Is it building the right team, or maybe getting an A round of investors, or maybe breaking the $1 million mark or the $10 million mark or the $50 million mark? What have you been thinking is impossible that if you did it, it would change the game for you? Tell me in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification right down here so you never miss a video when I put it out. Now subscribe, hit the bell notification, and then keep the momentum going by clicking on my next video right over here.